So there's 5 habits that are ruining your productivity. And all 5 of these habits I'm going to explain to you guys and how to overcome them are all habits that I had problems with for years. And I've noticed a significant difference in my productivity, my energy, my mood, just because I'm able to be more productive. So I'm gonna help you guys out here. So the first habit that you need to break is stop looking at your phone as soon as you wake up in the morning. Because many of us do this where we just want to check our messages that we missed from last night. We want to go scroll on Instagram, look at our feed, check people's stories, go on TikTok, watch some reels, get a couple laughs. You know, we do this, but what people don't understand is that your brain is a battery. So by you trying to process all that information first thing in the morning, you're draining your battery so fast. It's like when you're on your phone, right? You're switching through apps, you're on it for a long period of time. You'll notice your battery drain a lot faster. That's the same thing with your brain. And what you're doing is your brain starts at 100% as soon as it wakes up in the morning. You're already down to 60% and you haven't even done anything yet. And then you wonder why you can't be as productive and you can't do the difficult tasks, or it's a lot more challenging to do like difficult tasks in your day. So stop doing that. What I started doing instead is when I wake up first thing in the morning, I will drink 40 ounces of water because we're just drained of water, right? You go maybe 7-8 hours without it. Your body needs it, your brain needs it. So I drink that, I'll use the bathroom, I'll do what I gotta do there. Then I'll go outside, I'll get about 10 minutes of sunlight. This will help getting light, direct light to your eyes, and I mean like actually go outside, will spike cortisol levels in your body. It's a hormone, right? So that helps you get energized and alert. Do that, and then I'll go ahead and meditate for about 10-15 minutes. And then I will look at my phone. And this whole process is about an hour. So if you don't have like any sort of morning routine, I highly recommend getting one. But yeah, take at least an hour to, my voice just cracked there, take an hour at least before you look at your phone. It'll make your productivity increase tremendously, okay? The second habit is limiting distractions. So this kind of ties in hand to the first habit here, where make sure you don't look at your phone because you're gonna be tempted for a bit. But when you actually start doing your work, you start your day, typically our distraction is having your phone by us, or maybe you have TV going in the background, or you have like some music playing in the background. If it's study music, different story, but I'm talking about hip hop, EDM, music of that nature, country music, if you like that. Stop all that right now, because you need your full focus on what it is that you're trying to do. And so what I found useful is, typically for me, my phone was always the problem. So I literally put my phone in an entirely different room. I don't even want to, out of sight, out of mind, right? So I apply this to this method, and we also operate on this concept called ultradian rhythms. Now, a lot of us know our circadian rhythm, right? It's our biological 24-hour cycle clock. Ultradian rhythms are the same concept, but they're just in shorter bursts. They happen at night, but they also happen throughout the day. And the concept of it is that every 90 minutes to 2 hours, you are able to focus and have like high alertness. And after that 90 minutes to 2 hours drops, you feel sleepy, you feel like you need a break, you kind of need to just chill out. So you want to make sure you limit these distractions, because you want to maximize the time that your body is operating. Your body, mind, and brain are all operating at a high level. So keep that in mind. The third habit is you're constantly just wandering around. So I actually do catch myself doing this to this day, where you like start a task and then you kind of think about doing something else. You know, oh, but I also need to do this. Oh, but I need to get that done. We all do this, but you just gotta write down what's most important to you. So you may or may not have heard of the eat the frog method, where it's doing the most important task, your most important task, the first thing in the day. And I do this to this day, where I know exactly what I need to get done first thing, like what matters to me most. And I make sure I do that first thing in the morning when I first start getting to work, because for me, I feel like I have the most energy to do the most difficult tasks when I wake up. Some people work later at night. I know that. If that works for you, by all means do that. But if you're like me, I would make sure you do that first. And then after you get that task done, then organize the rest of your day in terms of like what's next important, and just like make a list and then just try to, get all that done. So that'll help you stop wandering. You don't want to be thinking, you want to be doing. That's the key here. And the only way you can do is by taking action. So I do that every day. That'll help a lot. The fourth habit is multitasking. And listen guys, that's a complete myth. Like nobody can actually multitask because your brain does not operate that way. Your brain, what it does when you think you're multitasking is you have your attention on one task, and then as soon as you multitask to another task, it stops your focus there, has to reset itself, and then it goes to the other task you're trying to work on. And you constantly keep doing this. And as you keep doing that, you don't understand that you actually don't make nearly as much progress on any of the tasks that you're doing. So get out of that habit, time box all of your tasks. So building off the last habit, as you go through the list of things that you want to get done every single day, put your full focus into that for an hour and a half, 2 hours. If it's not as difficult of a task, maybe it only takes you 30 minutes to an hour, but whatever it is, just do that. Because not only will you feel more tired mentally by trying to switch through tasks, you won't retain all that information as much as you think you will. Like what I've realized is when I put my full focus in a task, because I used to multitask, but when I put my full focus in a task, I am completely immersed in what I'm doing, where I retain the information that I'm learning more. It's more enjoyable because I am fully focused on it, and my mood is just more stable, like completely, versus when I used to multitask, it was just like a facade. Like your brain is trying to trick you to think, or your mind is tricking you that you're getting more done, but I didn't feel good mentally after because, I don't know, my brain just felt like it was just juggling it up, honestly. Not juggling up, but it was just trying to juggle too many things at once. And think about it like this, like when you're in the shower, right? Like if you're shampooing your hair, you're not also putting body soap on you as well, right? Like you're not doing this, right? You're literally just gonna be just shampooing your hair, and then you're gonna move to your body, and then you're gonna move to the next point, and so on and so forth. That's how you should treat becoming more productive as well, just with your tasks and things of that nature. When I'm talking about productivity, I'm typically talking about just getting tasks done. That could be work tasks, it could be errand tasks, it could be all that. So keep that in mind. And the last habit is learning is not actually learning. Applying is learning. I know that was a little confusing, but there's so much information that is thrown out to us today. There's so much access to information. And we constantly keep trying to absorb, right, all this information. And I was a prisoner of this too. Like I said, I've been through all this where I noticed that I wasn't able to retain any of the information I was learning. It wasn't until I started applying that knowledge to where it resonated with me. And I actually remembered it for long periods of time. The best analogy I could give you is, let's say you buy a new fancy car, like a Porsche, for example, right? The Porsche looks great. It's a fancy car. It looks great, but you don't have any gas in the tank. So you don't really know how nice the car is. Like it looks good in theory when you read about it, or like when you see it and visualize it, but until you drive it, you're not going to understand what you really like about the car. Does it drive as fast as you wanted it to? Does it turn the way that you liked it to? Does the functions of the car internally, when you're maybe listening to music or whatever, does that work the way you want? Like you don't understand and retain this information until you have gas in the car. So it's the same thing with learning. And don't focus on learning so much, focus on retaining. Okay, and yeah, this is something I'm very interested to talk about in the future and more in depth, but retaining information is significantly more than learning a bunch of information. That's what the goal is. So keep that in mind. And these are the 5 habits. And there was a great quote that I want to mention to you guys before I close it out here. There's this, his name is, what is his name? Michael Altshuler, who is a serial entrepreneur. He had this quote that says, the bad news is that time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. And that stuck with me because we all have 24 hours in a day. It's just a matter of how you utilize that time to become your most efficient self. So I just wanted to share that quote with you guys. I think that was great. He started his own copier business when he was 22 years old and made multi-millionaire off of it. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a family guy, but you guys should check him out. But yeah, anyways, this is the 5 habits that are ruining your productivity and how to overcome them. And this will help you tremendously. If you like this video, share with someone that needs to hear this. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't to me already, and I will catch you all in the next video.